Welcome to Logic Heap. Let's learn another data structure here, queue, and its implementation in Python. Queue is a word which we use in our day-to-day life. You can see here there's an ATM machine and people are forming a line by standing one after the other. This is what queue is. So in this real life situation, who you think will be able to get the access of this ATM machine first? The one who is in front of this queue? The one who come early? So the one who is standing in front will also be the first who will leave the queue as he or she is done accessing machine. They leave the queue. Also, if someone wants to join this queue, they'll join from the back. Let's consider this as the queue. These are the elements of the queue. This end is called front. This end is called back. So one thing is clear that leaving and entering in this queue is happening from two opposite sides. From the front, people are leaving this queue as they are done with whatever they wanted to access, and from the back, we are adding more elements if we want to. So this was the real life example of queue. So let's discuss what QADT says. Queue abstract data type. What does it say? See, it is also an ordered collection, just like arrays, linked lists, stack are ordered collection of items. It is also an ordered collection with the condition that elements access and deletion will happen from one end and insertion is done from the other end called back of the queue. So access and deletion will happen from the first element in the queue and insertion is done from the back of the queue. Thus, it is also called to follow FIFO principle. FIFO is first in, first out. The one which will enter first in the queue will be the one to leave this queue first. Let's discuss operations to implement when you are working with QADT. So the very first is NQ. NQ is inserting an element, and insertion, from where does this happen? It happens from the back of the queue. So NQ has item as a parameter, and our job is to add this item from the back of the queue. Second is DQ. What DQ does, it removes and returns the first item of the queue, and error should occur if that queue is empty. This is DQ. Next is first. First returns the reference of the very first element, but it doesn't remove it from the queue. Like in the DQ, we were removing the first item from the queue and returning as well. First only returns the reference to this element, but it doesn't remove it from the queue. And error should occur here as well if the queue is empty. Next is empty method. So it checks if your queue is empty and returns true or false on that basis. And next is length of queue. So it returns the number of elements in queue. So we will implement all these operations, but before that, show you an example of queue. It is very much used in CPU scheduling algorithms. So there's FCFS, there's shortest job first, or round robin. There are multiple algorithms around it. All these need a queue. Let's discuss one out of it, which is FCFS. FCFS full form is first come, first serve, which is the main principle of queue as well. The one which is first should be processed first. So there are three processes, process 1, process 2 and process 3. Now these processes has requested the CPU time. Firstly process 1 came. So in the queue we put process 1. Then process 2 comes. So we'll keep P2 just after P1, and then process 3 demands the CPU time. So we keep it here. As soon as CPU is free, firstly it will pick P1. So first come, first serve. P1 came first, and that's why we are serving P1 first. So firstly P1 will be DQ'd and given to CPU. Now P1 is gone. Next is P2. Then we'll give P2 to CPU and finally P3 to CPU. So that is how FCFS scheduling algorithm works, and Q plays a very important role here to implement this CPU scheduling algorithm. So that was one example where queues are used. Let's now see how we'll implement queue in Python. We are going to use list data structure here. Firstly, we'll create a class with the name queue. The very first thing that we always discuss is its constructor. So this is its constructor, and in this constructor we are going to create an empty list. Its reference is kept in underscore a. Second is double underscore len double underscore. So I've already discussed in stack tutorial as well why we are writing it like this, because when user writes len of q, internally it converts to q dot double underscore len double underscore. That's why we are implementing this method. So what we are doing here is inside this method we are going to call length function of your list. So length, and we'll pass list inside it. This is already an implemented method in list class. So we are going to call it length of list, length of underscore a. So this we did for the length method. Next is empty method. So again we'll use the length method of list. We'll compare length of list with 0. If the length of list is 0, it means our queue is empty. So we'll return true to it, that it is empty. So that's how we have implemented is empty method. Next is enqueue method. We simply add a new element from the back. So that's why in the list, we already have a method called append, which appends the item to the end of the list. We are going to use that method to write the enqueue method. Then dequeue method. In the dequeue method, we need to remove the element which was inserted first. So there's a method pop and we can pass index to it. We have passed 0 as the index, so it will remove the very first element of the list. And before that, we should also check if our queue is empty. If our queue is empty, then we cannot dequeue an element out of it. So firstly, a check that if queue is empty. If not, then we'll pop an element because we want to remove the very first element. And last but not the least, first method, what it is supposed to do, it should return me the very first element of a queue without removing it. So what we have done here, firstly again the check that if queue is empty. Once this check is done, if queue is not empty, what we are supposed to return, we need to return the very first element without removing it. So that's why self dot underscore a 0. So these are all the methods that we have implemented in the queue class. Let's see how we are supposed to use it. So in the right hand side, I have written its usage. So when we'll write q equals to q, it is going to call the constructor. It is going to create an empty list. Now the very first thing we are doing is q dot enqueue10. So let's suppose it has created a list. In this list, the very first element is 10. Now in your mind, keep that this list is a queue for the user. So a list should behave in that manner only. Then we printed the first element. What is the first element? 10. It will print 10. Length of queue is? It's 1 because there's only one element. See how we are calling it length of queue. So internally it is going to translate it as q dot double underscore len double underscore. Next is q dot enqueue20. When this statement runs, what it is going to do? It is going to put 20. Now see this list, we want it to behave it as this is the front and whatever would be the last element is the back. Okay. So this is also done. So first element is again 10 Length of Q is 2. Then Q dot NQ 30. So here we are going to put 30. 30 is also there. Now first element again is 10. Q dot first, it is going to give me 10. And length of Q is 3. Right? This time it is 3. Okay, now let's DQ an element. Now 10 lies in your front and 30 is at the back. So the deletion should happen from the front. Then only this list will behave as a queue. So we are going to remove 10. Removed element now contains 10 and it will print it. Now if you will say the first element, what is the first element? Now it is 20. Okay, and what is the length of the queue now? It is 2. So that is how you can implement queue in Python using list very easily. You can also check the link for this complete code in the description box. Next, we'll start with trees data structure.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into Logic Heap. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.